guys, in this video I have my second project with the February Thompson's Craft Supplies Mixed Media Kit to share with you. As ever, if you haven't seen the video where I share what's in the kit, I will link that for you if you are interested. So I'm doing something a bit different in this video, something I've never done before, which is an altered embroidery hoop. The hoop and the material that you can see me putting in the hoop there came with the kit, so I knew I had to give it a go. For those of you who like my channel for the more paper crafty things, not to worry too much. Like, I am still at heart a scrapbooky kind of journaly kind of card makery person, but it is fun to try new things, and I thought I would share that with you. So yes, so I had, once I got my material in there, I was kind of pulling it and making sure it was nice and tight, and I was just, after I'd cut it down, sticking the material down on the reverse side with some 3D matte gel, and that really works very well with, well, it sticks anything to anything really, but when you put the material down, you don't really have to wait for it to dry before you do anything else, because it just, yeah, it sticks nice and quickly. Yes, that's the Prima Art Basics matte gel, by the way. A couple of people have requested me to do a mixed media basics video, and I will get around to that. So yes, it won't be for a good couple of weeks, but I will do it at some point. So yes, just so you know. So yes, once I had stuck that down, and apparently I'm not showing you that just yet. Come on, Grace, hurry up. Come on, come on, come on. Almost. I'll talk about what I'm about to do. Yes, once I'd stuck that down, I covered the whole thing in a layer of gesso. Now, if I had some heavy body gesso, I would have used that, but annoyingly I don't. There's me getting the gesso ready there. So I just added quite a thick layer, as I said, and that goes all over the hoop, all over the front, the sides, and I put it on the little metally catch twisty thing, I don't know what the word for that is, at the top as well. Now, what I did with this is, before I sat down and started doing this hoop, I watched a load of tutorials on YouTube for altered hoops, all the mixed media ones and stuff, and I noticed most people, like 70%, when they alter a hoop, they do the front side, you know, where the material is flush against the hoop and the side that you would embroider on, kind of thing. But I also saw a bunch where people did the reverse side, where it sort of set in a bit, and I couldn't decide which sort of idea I preferred. I really wasn't sure. So what I did was, I started off by prepping both sides. So I put gesso on both sides, and the next thing that I'm about to do, I did that on both sides, and it got to the point where I just ended up liking both. So it actually ends up as a double-sided altered hoop, because both sides have stuff on them, because, well, I always jump in the deep end with these things, even though it was my first time doing an altered hoop. There we go. So yes, it's a slightly longer video because, yeah, I do both sides. So what I'm doing there is putting on some Ranger Opaque Crackle paste. Now, I have noticed in a lot of mixed media videos that people say when you use crackle paste, you should let it air dry naturally and not use a heat tool on it, because it doesn't crackle very well with a heat tool. However, I have actually found the opposite thing. Maybe it's the Ranger paste, or I don't know, but when I leave it to dry naturally in the air, it seems to not crackle as well as when I use the heat tool on it. Now, again, I don't know if that's because of that particular paste, or maybe my house is like particularly cold and moist or something, so it doesn't dry as well. I don't know. I'm sorry for people who hate that word, by the way. Moist. Yes, but maybe in the summer when it gets warmer and drier, I will leave it out to air dry and see if it crackles better then. So we will see. But just in case anyone was wondering and was about to tell me off for using a heat tool on crackle paste, then, you know, those are my reasons. So I'm starting off inking all over my texture paste, crackle paste, sorry, I kept calling it texture in my last video, I don't know why, but what I'm doing is I'm putting ink on, and then I'm drying the ink in between every stage so they don't all run into each other too much. It is nice when they run into each other a little bit, obviously, because you get all the different colours, but anyways, I've got a lot of inks in this video. The first one I put down, that pink, is some Acrylic drawing ink, which is about a 70-30 ratio of ink to water. Then there was the Heidi Swapp in mint. The mint is a different colour, by the way, from the sweet mint. I really want the sweet mint because it's a much nicer colour. And then we had some Lindy's Stamp Gang in the Tibetan Poppy Teal. And then I lost track of what I was doing. I think there was some Mr. Huey's there in the colour Sky. Yes, yes. So I knew one of the things I definitely wanted to use in this project was that Bramble Fox piece that says life. And so I kind of got that out to kind of test it against the colours to see how it would best stand out, kind of thing. Doesn't actually end up going on this side, but it was a experiment the whole time. So yes, so we've got this sort of purpley greeny thing going on that side, and then I wanted to try the front. So instead of doing lots of different patches of colour, I just went all over it with that blue. That blue is the same as the pink. It's the Acaldo ink, which is mixed with a little bit of water to help it be more spray. And this one dries really cool, actually. Instead of moving the ink sometimes when you dry it with the heat tool, like some of it just kind of solidifies and goes kind of thick and sticky. I am making some dodgy words in this video, I'm sorry, but yes, it was really, really interesting, actually. The only thing was, at the end of the project, even when everything was completely finished, it was still a bit sticky, even though it was dry. So I don't know what that's about. So I did actually, after this video, put a small amount of 3D gloss gel over it to stop that stickiness, because I don't like things that are sticky. But yes, and then I put a little bit more of the pink on there, just around the edges, and dried that, and just kept to those two colours for that, because, yeah, I kind of like that one. So around the edge, I am putting some black acrylic paint. If I had black gesso, I would have used that instead, because it would be better. But I don't have any. Like the heavy gesso, it's on my list of things that I need to get, but I am on a no spend this February, so I will just have to make do for now. Because I wanted to do that in one, I just dried it in between, like sort of halfway through doing the edge there, because, you know, I don't want to leave it to the side and wait and do something else. Yes, so yes, that's why you saw the heat tool come out there. I used the heat tool an awful lot in this project. So because I'd preferred how I'd done the front of it with more and more of the blue ink, I decided let's put some more blue ink on the reverse here. And yes, I think that ended up, yeah, the colour's a bit stronger. So that material there, I'm not really sure what it's called. I saw it in a video recently and she referred to it as cheesecloth, but I'm not sure. I don't know, but I know nothing about materials. But anyway, so I'm putting on some 3D gloss gel or heavy body gel there. That little tube came with the kit, and I'm just sort of pushing that in and having that as sort of like a little, I don't know what to say, what it is, but it's there. And then I've seen lots of mixed media artists do this, so I thought I would give it a go, which is wrap some twine around the project. And that twine is, now where did I get that from? Oh, it's garden twine that I stole from my mother. Hey, Mum! Yes, nice thick garden twine. It's definitely the best twine I've got. So I just tied that round, did just, you know, 3 loops, and then I'm going to cover it in gesso, because you don't want that brown twiny colour in a big, bright, bold and colourful project like this. That's not what you want at all. So yes, and I very roughly did this. I could have used a thinner brush and done it very carefully to not get gesso on the project behind it, but ain't nobody got time for that sort of thing. You know, I'm quite a lazy crafter, this is true. So yes, just whapping the gesso over there, and I think I may have let that air dry actually for a bit of a break. I'm not sure. And I was going to cut more of the knot off, but I actually quite like the look of it, so I kept that as well. That big blue paper flower is just one that came in a big box of paper flowers that I got from The Works, actually, and I got the whole box for about £2, so that's pretty fab. And you saw me take that little metal embellishment there, that sort of round broachy looking one, and I covered it with white gesso as well, because obviously I didn't want that brassy colour on this project. So that's just off to the side there drying, and then underneath I've just spread a light layer of gel, and I've put on that sort of netty ribbon that you can't see the colour too well, but it is a bright neon green, so it's a bit again very bright and colourful, this project. And I'm just putting it around the back as well, because I didn't want it sticking out too much. And then those little flowers, those I actually have from way back, nearly 2 years ago now, when I made some wedding invitations for a really good friend of mine, and they had little roses in, and I have loads and loads left over because I ordered too many when I made the invite. So I got some of those, and I'm dabbing them in ink, because the pale, very pretty pastel pink is very lovely, but not quite right for this project. So I have coloured them myself. There's a green one and a bright pink one. I think the green one actually fell off later on, and I replaced it with something else, but you'll see what that is, I think. I can't remember if I got that on a video or not. And at this point, there was still some wet gel and stuff from where I'd stuck down that green net ribbon and stuff. So I decided to sort of hold the project up a little bit, and I put it on top of my gesso pot. So it's kind of mounted and it wasn't going to stick to anything. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was actually turned out to be a very helpful thing to do. So I put that very, very bright yellow lace ribbon on there. I thought, I'm using too many cool colours at that point. It's supposed to be too colourful, and I'm sticking within my comfort zone of blues and purples and mints and that kind of thing. So I was like, let's get some yellow on here. Let's make it nice and bright and bold. Now, do not do this at home, but I did dry the gesso on that metal embellishment with a heat tool. Don't touch it afterwards. Leave it alone for a while if you do that, because obviously it gets very, very hot because it's metal. That yellow heart there, that I found in my stash. That's not something from the kit, but it's just a little yellow foam heart. It probably came from my kids' craft kit or something. I put that Bramble Fox flare in the middle of that metal embellishment. It says, "This girl is on fire." There's lots of words and phrases that go on this hoop, actually. Lots of like encouraging and positive things and all that kind of thing. And then I wanted something kind of sticking out from the hoop. I didn't want everything to be within the circle. So those skeleton leaves, which I just sprayed some ink over just to make them coloured. Again, those are from my stash, but skeleton leaves are the kind of thing you can find everywhere. They're not hard to get hold of at all. So those are going on there. They only need a teensy little bit of gel to stick on there because, you know, they're very, very delicate. But I do like the mix of the pink and yellow up the top there. Yes, very fond of that. And the bottom one is actually coloured silver. I don't know how well that's showing up, but I think I put some pink on it a little bit later on. So putting down my main sort of embellishment or title, or I don't know what you want to call it, but the Bramble Fox life piece there. And then we've got those stickers there, which at first they're from the kit and I didn't actually know where they were from, but I happened to see them in another haul video recently, and I think they are Pink Fresh Studio. So yes, if you like them, those are where they are from. That was a hard sentence to say. That little love thing I put down there, again, that was in my stash. I think I received it in some Happy Mail or something, but I just wanted more yellow going on there. So I've got the enamel dot, the believe, that little heart. There's two little hearts now. And yeah, so almost finished with this side, I think. Just finishing off with a little bit of ink, a little bit more ink. I wanted some on that flower because it was a bit too clean. And now I am just making it rain with some Heidi Swapp in sheer, just to give it that nice shimmery, translucent, shiny, pretty happiness. Oh, and just finishing off with a little flower there. That flower, by the way, those little gem flowers, I think I got them in Poundland, but some time ago. Maybe eBay. I don't know. If I can find a link, as ever, I will provide it for you. So for the other side, I decided to keep it a little bit more simple because the front is obviously really, really busy. So that Be Yourself sticker from the kit, I just backed that with some hip hop paper that I'd used in my previous Thompson's project. And as you see, I just ripped it and then put some distress stain around the edges. And then I want to colour that cheeseclothy material, whatever it's called, but I didn't want to get the colour anywhere else on the project, so that's why I'm just using that random, I think that was a dry baby wipe I had lying around from cleaning something up earlier that day. I started using the Heidi Swapp in blush to colour that, but it was too much of it was too light a colour, it didn't work, so then I went in with the purple and the pink. And those ephemera pieces, that sort of green flowery mandala kind of thing, and then the Be Your Own kind of normal, those are from the kit. They're Vicky Boutin ephemera pieces, so I'm just putting on those there like that. As I said, this side I'm keeping a lot more simple because yeah, the other side is the busy one, so that's all going on there. So you can see all the phrases I'm putting on here, all kind of about be yourself, believe, be your own kind of normal. It's all like positive stuff and nice things, and I'm just going to have this hanging in my craft room to remind me to, yeah, be myself. So adding the pom-pom ribbon, again from the kit, around the edge there. The thing about the 3D gloss gel or the matte gel is it will stick anything to anything, as I keep saying, but when you use it with paper, you need to either hold it on or give it a while to dry, because it kind of pops off very easily, whereas you use it with something material, it's still taking the same amount of time to dry, but because it's material, it kind of sticks easier. I don't know if any of that made any sense. I will talk about it more when I do a mixed media basics video. And so I'm just finishing off with some of the glass glitter in violet, because I thought it just needed an extra little something on that side just to finish it off. And yeah, I was quite happy with how that just little touch of the shiny glitteriness in the corner there. Yeah, I like it a lot, and I'm pretty sure that is about it. I think I can't remember anything else. Anyway, that little heart I put on there, by the way, it's from 7 Dot Studio, and that was in the kit as well. So yes, there we go. I am finished. So I hope you enjoyed this slightly different project. I certainly enjoyed doing something a bit different, but don't worry, I'll do something scrapbooky for you next week. But yes, other than that, thank you so much for watching. I will leave links to everything down in the description box. And yes, if you have any questions, please let me know. And other than that, thank you again. I am going. Bye bye.